Hello guys, thank you so much for tuning in with me. Welcome to Talking with Ness. It's your host Nestorine, and today I have a special guest with me. I'll let her introduce herself, but don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button for more notification, and comment any questions that you have, and then I'm gonna let my guest introduce herself.
Hi everyone, it's nice to meet you all. First of all, I just want to thank the beautiful Miss Congo Queen for allowing me to come with her to talk to her today and just to see you. It was so exciting. But introductions. My name is Yacinta. I am currently a sophomore at ASU, studying sociology with a focus in pre-medicine. I represented Burundi in the Miss Africa Arizona pageant for 2020. So I'm just excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for saying yes to my invitation, and it's such an honor to actually have
Thank you for inviting me. You invited me, so thank you.
So guys, in case I didn't bring up the topic last time, today we are going to be talking about the importance of a girl child education, especially in our African society today. So my guest here is going to be answering the questions. It won't be like a debate or an interview. It's just a talk show. We're going to talk. We will be discussing about why is it that in our society and in our communities, or where we come from in our countries, they don't talk much, or they don't appreciate the importance of a girl child education. So she will be here to shed some light into that topic. So to start with, what is it that when they talk about girl child education, what do you understand by that term?
I would say girl child education is education that specifically targets women and girls, especially younger girls who are very prone to being affected by what they hear and what they see, how they're treated around, how they're treated, whether it's in their family, whether it's online, whether it's wherever they are. You know, the effect of even in schools now, there's a disproportionate amount of girls and boys, and there's always those, you know, stereotypes: girls learn faster than boys, or boys learn faster than girls. But I don't think that's the thing. But if it's education specifically towards girls, it's teaching them not just life lessons in the classroom, but how they can act outside of the classroom, what they can do outside of the classroom, teaching them about their mental health, teaching them about understanding how to go out into the workplace, and just preparing them and telling them how to take care of themselves. I think a lot of girls need that to be taught specifically, so I think those are all of the things that I would say accommodate the meaning of girl child education.
Okay, that's really interesting. And then to bring more to that topic, why is it that in our African society we don't appreciate, or we don't value the importance of educating a girl child? What are some barriers that we, in our cultures or in our communities where we come from, our elders find it hard to understand that it is very important to educate a girl child? Why is it so hard for them to understand that concept?
Yeah, so I'm gonna just give a little background on myself. I'm very blessed with two amazing parents, and we came to America when I was very small. I was only 8 years old, and so my parents, they had grown up in Africa. That's all they've known. But I was thankful that they always pushed me to keep going to school and to keep learning. I mean, I think that's because they realized that because we were moving to a different state, a different country, the things weren't going to be the same as they were in Africa. I feel like they saw America as a place of opportunity. And I mean this in a way that it's an opportunity to practice some things that to do things that you probably could have done back in your country. And that's no hate, that's no like negativity towards smaller countries other than the United States. I think every country has education systems that work to reach whoever they can. But I'm saying that when we came here, they realized that the opportunity for me to move forward in my life and to have some of these opportunities that maybe they didn't have or they couldn't fully grasp was to go to school and to have an education. And so I think that for many countries or people from Africa or many countries in Africa, I feel don't have the capacity maybe, or don't have all of the necessary tools needed to create a system where they have education that's geared not just towards children, but also older people as well. I think adults as well who may not be able to get to go to school, but they want to. They have the capabilities of going. And so for me, I think that it's not even just about appreciating. I think they know. I think they see that if we teach our younger children not just how to work maybe in the fields or how to work when their parents are not okay, but also how to use their brains, how to use their mind to critically understand and critically think about situations in life, because that's going to help them in the long run. I took a sociology class, Sociology 101, during my second semester at ASU, and we had this book that we were reading, and in the book I read that women who are literate and who can read and write and have gone to school, they live longer. And that's women and children, right? Yeah. So, you know, a lot of these African countries that we're coming from, there's a lot of children who never get that chance, who never get the opportunity. But there are some places, right, that teach the basics, like writing, math, reading, and those can really change how much a person stays on this earth. And I don't know if that, you know, I'm not sure how I can say that. Maybe I can give more examples, but one example I would say is that someone who has been to school, who has learned, they're going to be able to communicate to people who they have seen in that same environment, right? They're going to be able to talk to those people in different ways, and then once they do that in the classroom, they can go out and they can do that out in the classroom. But if we stay in one spot, right? If we keep children just in that, if we're stuck in that one place, in that one mindset that education isn't important, then I think we're kind of hurting ourselves, and we're kind of pushing ourselves back, and we're kind of not giving children the opportunity to, I think, get their wings and fly. And this is not to attack anyone who doesn't go to school, who hasn't been able to get an education. Things happen. I don't think that, you know, someone who goes to school is going to be more successful than someone who doesn't. I don't think that a lot, because opportunities come in different ways, and we all have minds, we all have brains that we can use, girls and boys. Use your minds. And so I think that's one of the biggest things that I have to say on that topic, and what it means for us Africans.
And then one of the thing is because like being born in an African oriented family, like all your ancestors are from, you know, Africans. They are like from different villages and all that stuff. And when a girl is born in the society, that means your life is already second. Like your life is scheduled, you know, you get to this point, like when you're 15, you are ready to be married. And that means a person who have a lot of girls is called someone who is rich, who is wealthy. In how? Because all the children that he have are girls, right? And when he marries them off, that means he get paid money, like the bride price and everything. So to him, it's technically business. So to them, they regard a girl child as an object, that this person is going to bring wealth to me. You know, this person is going to bring money to my family. They are going to add more wealth. So they talk about like educating a girl child is a waste of time, because I want to raise this child to be a woman who's just going to get married, and then that's going to be what her and her husband are going to figure it out, which is killing and damaging a woman. From my perspective point of view, as I look into that, I look at it as you trying to undermine a person. Why don't you let the person grow and let them decide who they want to be? Let them decide how they want to to grow who they want to be. Because if you try to marry me off at a young age, there's nothing that I can teach my children, because there's a saying that say educating a woman is educating a nation. So if you're not educating me, I am not well educated, who is going to educate my child? Well, my husband goes to work and I'm just home doing dishes, cooking, getting ready the kids for school. If my child comes like they want their homework done, I'm not able to help my child with their homework. That means I'm raising a generation of illiteracy, because I cannot help my child. If I can help my child, no one else outside can help my child. So it's I'm breaking. I'm you know, I'm just like keeping that line going. Like, oh, all the girls in my house, the female children that I'm gonna give birth to, they just feel like by the age of 18 they have to get married, which is something in our society we have to change that concept. We have to let them understand that as a girl child, I can be educated, I can have a PhD degree, and I can still have a family, I can still get married, and I can still have children, which is something that our society don't understand. They'll be like, if you are 28, you're already old, you cannot get married. Who says that? Who said by the age of 25 you should be married? Who said by the age of 28 you should have 2 kids? Or by the age of 30 you should already have a husband, you should already have children, you should already have a 5-year-old kids? And you look at them like, have you ever asked me what I want to be? Like, I can have plans and be like, by the age of 30 I want to have a PhD degree. And marriage is not, it's not like marriage is not in my mind, but at that point it is not important.
And I think it's important that you brought that up, because it really puts everyone in the box. It puts women in a box. It puts children in a box, right? It's like from the time that you are born, based on your gender, you already have a specific set of things that you can do, and that's not fair. And you know, people may be like, okay, the world is unfair. No, I think that you just don't want to give people the opportunity to be great. Let's just say that, you know, because if you're gonna just say, because of my gender, because I'm a woman, because I'm a girl, all I have to do is be married, take care of kids, stay in the house. My husband goes out and he's a doer. And I'm just like, why is it just the men that have to be doers? Why can't the women be doers? Why can't we teach the women that they can work in the house but also go out and do other things outside too, that they can do to support the family? And like you said, it teaches the children too, when they see the women not just sticking to the home, but going out and working hard. My mom, she was going to school part-time and working part-time, and she's the best. I'm in awe of her that she could have been able to do that. And then there was my dad too. He was telling himself, okay, I can go to work, but let me just also do school. So he was doing online school. He was putting himself out there, trying to do his best. And so I think everyone, no matter who they are, no matter where you come from, needs to have the opportunity to choose what they want to do and how they're going to get there. Which is something I agree with you. But it's only because in our society, like when you come from, it's different when you come from both educated parents. You know, it is different when you come from a family where all your parents are well educated. That means they've been exposed to that knowledge and understanding, like, oh, this is what education means, other than comparing to someone who comes from a family where the parents, they didn't actually go to school or even finish school, and they have a different view when it comes to educating a girl child, or when it comes to education in general. They have a little understanding of, be like, oh, what are books going to do? You know, you just go to the farm and, you know, grow some stuff I like and all that stuff, but you don't give your child the opportunity to choose and to be who they want to be. Like in other countries, like if I could look into like most of Arabic countries, I was actually surprised to find out that it's only recently that women were allowed to drive. And then I'm like, wait, what? Saw that.
And I was like, what do you mean women are allowed to, like, only women are allowed to, we're not allowed to drive, and they were just allowed to drive right now? How is different when a woman drives and when a man drives? We are all driving, we all have like our final destination where we're going. But it's so surprising how some countries put limits on other girls, like. True. And then even if we have to go back in history where women were not allowed to vote and all that stuff, which is crazy that we had to march for rights to vote, like.
And you know what, you bring up that topic, and it's I'm sorry I keep saying that, but it's so good, because again, it's just that box, and that same thing that the suffrage movement was for, was just for women to vote. Imagine just to go and you had to be just. be, so it's like that one-mindedness. It's like only in that time, that's what I felt like whenever I was in history class and we were reading about that. It only felt like they were saying that men were the only ones who had the right mind to vote. And I mean, men are great, they have great minds and everything, but in that time they were seen as that figure of everything. They were the end point. It was just there wasn't even women at that point. And I'm just like, no, women do have a mind to vote. They do have a mind to do all of those things. I just think it's crazy to think, because I was in the 1900s, girl. That we're in 2020. Yeah. And you know, so it's very much okay. So if women are always just told that they can't be this, if girls are always told that they can't do this, they can't do that, for me, one, that just makes me more determined to do that thing that you say I can't do. That makes me so much more determined to get to that place, just not just even to show you, but to also show you that I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna get there not just because of what you said, but because I have the capacity to. I have the ability to. And that's just a human rights thing. Everyone has that right whenever they could go anywhere to do what they need to succeed in their life, or what they think being successful looks like for them. They can go after that.
Yeah, okay. And then I understand that you were part of the Miss Africa Arizona 2020. Has Miss Burundi, how did that impact your life? Like, how did that transformation from just being the regular girl on campus, you know, and actually be out there on the stage and representing your country and show yourself out there, like, as a girl child, as a girl, this is what I can accomplish too. How did that impact your life being part of the Miss Africa Arizona 2020?
It was something that came out of nowhere. I wasn't even thinking about it, right? But I had seen it. What's her name had called out to me. What's her name?
Lawyer?
No.
Adesor?
Yes, thank you. Adesor had reached out to me at one point, and she was talking to me, and she was like, hey, we're having this pageant. I understand that you are, you know, from Africa, or this in Africa. Why don't you come out and see? And I was like, I'll think about it. It might be busy. But once I did it, and just kind of being in that stage, not even being on the stage, but being around so many amazing girls from one place, I was like, I'm like mind blown. Cote d'Ivoire, you know, Liberia, all of those countries. Just seeing these girls just come together, I think it was amazing for me, and the friendships that I made too. So it really impacted not just, you know, how I communicate to people, but how I represent myself, how I represent my country. I'm happy. I am excited to say I'm from Burundi. I represented Burundi in this pageant, and just in the ways that I could, and I even learned more about my country. We had to go out and research about our country to be able to answer interview questions. So it was an amazing opportunity, and it really taught me how to come out of my shell more. It might not seem like it, but I can be a little reserved, a little bit shy, sometimes a little bit wacky, but but it really taught me how to be open to having these tough conversations, and to go back and just kind of see where my roots are, see where I came from, how I was raised, and all of that. It was amazing. It was an amazing opportunity.
Okay, so with your title right now as Miss Burundi Africa Arizona 2020, if you were to ask, if someone was to ask you, like, how would you promote a girl child education into your community, how would you target that area?
Okay, that's a great question. And I go back to where I'm from and what my parents have taught me, and I always kind of go back to them. So with the platform that I have, I would push the girls that I know in my life who are struggling with the question of, should I go to school? Should I stop going to school? What should I do with my life? Because I was there too. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to school, but what about after that? What if I don't go to school? What if I take a gap year and then go to school later? What if I just don't go to school? What am I gonna do then? All of those questions. So I think it will be creating a platform, much just like this, kind of talking about it. Talking about what type of troubles young girls have, young African girls have about going to school, and just what they want to see from their own community. You know, because if we support girls from Africa who come here, maybe as refugees, as immigrants, and we tell them, hey, it's important for you to go to school. Here are the steps you need to do that. Here are the steps that you need to get there. But we're going to support you, right? One of the biggest things I struggled with was money. It was because my family wasn't like all that rich or anything, you know, where there's 5 of us. I'm the oldest sibling, so I'm the first to go to college. Not the first, but I'm in college right now. But then my younger siblings are all in middle school. But my sister is going to she's a senior this year, so she's gonna be graduating. So that's more money, right? That we have to think about to pay. So I feel like for a lot of girls, that's the same thing. They really struggle with the idea of, how am I gonna ask my parents for this? How am I gonna do this? So I think it's important to help them in those situations, not just because we're Africans, but because we're a community of people. And so for me, I would really go to my community and I would say, how can we maybe create a fund? How can we do different discussions where we talk to girls and we bring them together and say, hey, we want to support you in whatever you want to do. Show us, ask us any questions that you have. We'll bring a panel of people who have been in those situations, have been there, but are doing great now, and we'll discuss and we can keep moving from there. So I think that's where I would start.
That is so great. I like your idea. So what is one advice that you want to give to the girls out there who are listening to you right now, and maybe someone wants to give up on school and they feel like, oh, you know what, this is not for me. Or maybe someone is going through that stage where the parents are like, oh, you need to do this, I don't want you to go to school. So what is one advice that you have for the young girls out there?
First of all, hi girls everywhere. Abakobwa mwese. That's Kirundi for all the girls. The first thing that I would really say is to love yourself. I think that's the biggest thing that even I struggle with now. Learning how to love myself and taking pride, right, in what you want to do and what you see your future as. And so I would really say the first biggest thing that my first biggest advice is to pray. I don't know how many of you guys are religious, whatever it is, but I say pray. I say sit down with God, show him your heart, show him what you want in life. And I tell you that if you keep praying, if you keep up that relationship with God and you ask him for everything, he's going to give, because he says ask and you shall receive. Amen. I mean, it sounds hard because you know, how many times do I ask until I get it, right? Like, are you gonna give me a car if I say give me a car, God? Maybe not. But if you keep asking and if you keep going and going, God is going to give that to you, right? My second biggest advice is don't be afraid to ask questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions, to seek advice, to go to counseling sessions. Excuse me, mental health is important. Counseling sessions, not just for mental health, but for your plans. You don't want to start something without planning. You know, you can't just go running into the ocean without a boat. You have to prepare a boat, right? So what are those? The protective gear, goggles, all of those things. So you need to ask questions so you know how to plan, so you can plan for what you want to do, because you know what you want to do is likely going to cost money. It might not cost a lot, but you also have to think about saving, right? About what you're going to be saving for those things that you want to do. So think about that and go out there, put yourself out there, social media, ask anyone, ask other girls who you see go to school, who go to ASU. I go to ASU, so anyone who's going to ASU, please reach out to me. I will answer any questions you definitely have. And then the last thing that I would say is to always be kind and help others. When you are kind and a helping hand goes a long way, I think is what they say. And so every time I help someone, I feel great. I feel uplifted. I feel joyous because I'm giving someone the same thing that someone else gave to me. And so it's that cycle, that never-ending cycle. So you have to not only be kind to others, but be kind to yourself. Do not look down on yourself. Do not make yourself feel some sort of way. Just keep pushing and everything will fall into place, hopefully. You can do it. You really can. You will.
Alright, thank you so much. I hope all the girls out there took your advice, and I hope you girls are out there are doing amazing things to change the world.
You will.
It doesn't matter what your choice of field is. You might be in high school and you don't know what you want to do in college yet. But I want to tell you guys to keep pushing hard. If you know that you are smart in school, keep being smart, and you might find scholarships. If you are good in sport, keep doing those sports, and then you'll find scholarships, someone who will pay for your school. Don't give up on something just because someone is telling you it is not good for you. Find that thing that you love most and do it, and care less about whatever or whoever has to say something about you. And another thing is, like how she said, love yourself more. If you love yourself more, no one is going to tell you anything otherwise. So I hope you guys enjoyed this part of the video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment down on the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more future notification. It's all for me today and my beautiful guest, and we are saying
Thank you for having
goodbye.
me.